Graduation, finding the right fit for college, just a couple of things high school seniors look forward to while getting ready to be on their own. Well, look no further. Delta State University Housing and Residence Life wants to answer any concerns you may have when trying to find the right place to call your new home. Whether it's finding the right roommate or the right residence hall, let the friendly and knowledgeable staff in the Delta State Housing and Residence Life office answer your questions. Phone them at 662-846-4151 or by following Housing and Residence Life in the quick links at www.deltastate.edu. Delta State University. Join it. Stand out.
Happy Sunday to you. Welcome to the Statesmen Insider right here on WXVT. Jimmy Smith with you here on a Sunday night. Later on the show, Statesmen Take 5 will be joined by 5 football players, and we'll ask them all the tough questions. But right now, head coach Ron Roberts alongside me. We're inside of Trinity Christian Academy's basketball gymnasium because it's raining outside and has been raining all day. Your team wins, even though the conditions were sloppy, your team was great. 41-17 over Lambuth to kind of put a cherry on top of the regular season. You win, you take care of business. You're in the playoffs. The 2010 playoffs will not be without the Statesmen this year.
Yeah, that's exciting. We're real pleased. Offensively, obviously, came out and did an outstanding job. I thought we played well early, going to halftime. I think it was 20-3. Yep. I thought that we were playing good in all phases at that time. We did some good kickoff coverage. We thought we were doing good. We had the punt return. We got called back on a penalty. We got a punt return to the house obviously a very questionable call there. But offense rolls up 711 yards. That's a new school record. That we talked about this game being momentum. It's about momentum, about making sure we continue to play hard and play at the level we want to play at. And I thought we did that. I thought we made some strides forward.
Is that why the team was really focusing on the passing game rather than in the later stages just trying to chew the clock up?
Well, early we threw the ball pretty well, and then we knew obviously it was going to get out of hand. It was going to be the fourth quarter just running the football. So we had some work we had to get in, so we tried to do that in the third quarter, throwing the ball around. And, again, just doing what we got to do. We got some great talent out there, and we got to make sure we use them.
You held Lambuth in the first quarter just 43 yards through the air, and they have one of the best physical specimen wide receivers that we've seen, a 6'8", 250-pound wide receiver named Rod Jefferson, who was held relatively in check this football game. He had a long one that he was stiff-arming defensive backs, the guys that got in there late, the freshmen, but he was held in check, whether it was Tillman or Davenport or anybody that was on him. Your guys had a great scheme, great technique, and held a 6'8" wide receiver who is probably going to be looked at by a lot of professional teams.
Yeah, we did a real good job. The secondary did a real nice job. Obviously, the big part defensively was the turnovers. That's a big part. We came up with some key turnovers. Secondary did a nice job reacting to the ball. We come up with the 3 picks, 3 or 4 3 picks. And that's a huge part of it. And guys just did a good job of flying around, knowing the responsibility, knowing where they're supposed to be, knowing the routes were coming, recognizing where they need to be, and making the play.
4 picks. Jared Turner had 1, Jerry Barnes had 1, Dominique Davenport had 2. He also had 3 sacks to the quarterback. Lambuth had 30 coming into the game, so that was an offensive line that was reeling. Your guys got a lot of pressure. There's a lot of no sacks in there that Jordan Jackson, the quarterback, converted defensive back. A lot of talent, a lot of speed. He kind of just broke out of it. Otherwise, there would have been sacks against slower quarterbacks.
Yeah, I thought so. He's a good talent, and a couple times he got away from us. And we preached about that. And the one time, obviously, that ended up being a touchdown. He got away from us and ends up on a long scramble, ends up throwing the ball up and getting 7 points off of it, which is disappointing. But overall, I thought we did a pretty good job of keeping him in the pocket, and I thought our secondary did an excellent job of playing.
Your team is in the mix here in the playoffs. You think that you saw enough of what you wanted to see? We still don't know who we're going to play, but you think that offense, especially the defense, they've come around here the last 2 games. Are you seeing what you want to see? Is this team peaking at the right time?
I think so. I think we've gotten better the last 2 weeks, and that's a big part. To make sure we're continuing to get better this time. We're playing better football. I really believe right now, I think we could beat anybody on our schedule, and I think or anybody that's out there. I'm excited to be one of the final 24, and right now, all you want to be is one of the final 16 and make sure to try to be the last one standing.
Trevor D goes over 100 yards again. He's still about 60 yards away from that school or that GSC record, frankly. 2,000 on the ground, 2,000 through the air. But I think the story of the game is Clint Farrar's 43-yard effort, his first score as a Statesman. How did that feel to get him in there and watch him hit that 13-yard home run?
Oh, that's great. Obviously Clint's been around his program. He's put his dues in and all that stuff. For him to get that opportunity to be the guy carrying the ball, those last 3 carries and the big run. He breaks the school record. 7, to go over the mark or 700 is a heck of a run. Breaks about 3 tackles, carries the guy for another 5 yards, and just does an excellent job.
Coach, with this selection show being tomorrow, we'll take you to the selection show coming up here shortly in the show. The guys are really excited about this situation. A lot of them are making it for the first time. A lot of them, the transfers in, are getting the chance to be in the playoffs. Just kind of what's the overall feel as being the head of this program and being GSC co-champions and also being in the playoffs again?
It's an exciting time, and this is it. We talk about the regular season, which this is you play the regular season with the right to earn an opportunity to play again, to earn an opportunity to go practice, stay together. These practices, these games need to be fun. This is more of a respect thing to our players, and again, congratulations, and they've done a great job. There's a feeling that we got some things out there we want to get done. I think we're good enough to do that. We're capable of playing anywhere else. We still got to get better. We know that. Our kids know that. I know they're capable of doing better. And that's all we can ask for. But like I said, our effort, our attitude's been outstanding, and you can't be pleased. I can't be any more pleased with a football team and a bunch of guys. I really enjoy coaching these guys. I enjoy coaching this group. I enjoy being around them. I hope it goes on as long as it can, because I don't want this team to come up short. I don't want to end it. We're not ready to end right now.
Well, you got a chance to play more football. Thank you, Coach. We'll talk to you later in the show tomorrow at the selection show. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
That's head coach Ron Roberts. When we come back, the Statesman Insider will continue when Kobe Rich will be talking with junior defensive back, his 2 interceptions, Dominique Davenport, right here on WXVT.
Welcome back to the Statesman Insider right here on WXVT. We just concluded a game with Lambuth University where it was a dominating performance on your side of the ball on defense. Just talk about your guys' performance.
We had a game plan this week. We, we knew most of their tendencies out of different formation, and they did what we thought they were gonna do, and we just right there to make plays.
And yeah, definitely, we had a key on what they were doing. You had 4 tackles and 2 interceptions. That's your highest output of the season. I think you have 5 on the season now. Just what was going through your head? We're reading the quarterback's eyes. You had a good read on him.
Yeah, I really was. I know it was like a passing down situation, so I was on their best receiver. So I got a little extra ready or whatever. So I just did my technique, and I was in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, that guy was 6'8" out there, and you shut him down most of the day. How does that feel after a performance like that in the rain?
Man, it felt good, man. I just knew. I told myself I let them catch all the hitches underneath routes. I just don't try to take away the deep ball. So I did pretty good. So I think.
In the last 2 weeks, our defense has really stepped it up. What kind of momentum is that going into the playoffs?
That's a lot of momentum, because we see we ain't been playing up top potential all year. So we see now how we really can play when we really go out there and do everything, like our technique, and do everything the coach tell us, and we can be real good. We can be a great defense.
Thanks a lot, Dominique. Go celebrate that win.
All right, thank you.
And that's Dominique Davenport. We'll go over to Jimmy Smith, who's with wide receiver Chance Dennis.
Thanks, Kobe. Here with junior wide receiver Chance Dennis. Been talking to you a lot lately. Had you on the pregame show of the radio, and I guess that was good luck. 6 catches. You led the way with 86 yards. You over the middle. You were wide open on 3rd down. You were wide open with the one 3rd down that we were able to convert earlier in the game and convert a drive and continue it going. Weren't able to get into the end zone, but I know for you, that's not what it's all about. You guys win. You're in the playoffs. How's it feel?
Oh, man, it feels beautiful. All week we just been preaching, go hard or go home. And we knew this was a must-win game for us to get some momentum going on into the playoffs. And as far as my stats, I give that to the O-line and Micah for getting the ball to me. And, it was a wet and rainy day out there, so receivers, we had to concentrate on the ball, and, we made plays.
I guess that's something we haven't really mentioned. It was wet and it rained most of the game, all the way really into the 4th quarter. But we set a school record of total offense, 711 yards. 404 through the air. How did it feel to be part of that sort of offensive outburst?
That's outstanding. As far as I'll give that to Coach Stevens, with the play calling. He's the offensive coordinator. We was just executing. We preach about that every week, in and out, execute. And when we do that, we dominate. And 700 yards plus, that's a lot of offensive yards with a lot of penalties and a lot of setbacks. So, we just got to keep that momentum going, keep that focus going, knock out those penalties, and go into the playoffs should nobody be able to stop us.
Now, with this playoff atmosphere finally being attained, being co-GSC champions, you guys have basically played maybe 3 straight playoff games in the regular season, just the feel. The West Georgia game was huge. The North Alabama atmosphere was monstrous. That felt like a playoff game. You had to beat Ouachita Baptist, so that was like a playoff game. Same deal here. You think that continual kind of putting you on the spot will be helpful next week when we head into the playoffs?
Well, yeah, I definitely think it will. We was looking really for 1 week out of this season to bring it all together, like we spoke about on the post-game show, as far as offense, special teams, and defense. And here in the first and second quarter, the first half, we did that. We slowed down a little bit in the third quarter, but at the end of the third quarter and the fourth quarter, we picked it back up. So, I mean, taking those games, those losses early in the season into this one, I think those helped us. And, I mean, we're looking to go full stride in the playoffs.
Now, I know this is kind of switching topics a little bit, but I wanted to get your input about it. A 6'8" wide receiver on Lambuth, Rod Jefferson. He guarded very well. He went over 100 yards, but he had 58 late in the game. He was picked. He was targeted twice, intercepted both by Dominique Davenport. How frustrating must that feel for a guy who's just so big and tall, and one of our better defensive backs just goes in and takes the ball away from him twice?
Well, as a receiver, I know. Me personally, I've never got a ball intercepted on me, so I know it's probably frustrating, but. Hey, you got Dominique Davenport guarding you, so, I mean, we'll take that every day. 2 picks. I mean, he giving the ball back to the offense. So, I mean, he had a good game. He had a great game. He's a tall cat, but not today.
You at 100%? You were saying in the pregame that you're almost there, about 95. Do we see 100% today?
No, we ain't see 100. We'll see it in the playoffs.
Playoffs. Chance Dennis, 100%. When we come back, we'll see where the boys end up in that playoff hunt. We'll head to the selection show right here on the Statesman Insider on WXVT.